Okay. I have my phone at a very preposterous angle, so I'm just praying to God it does not fall, because if it does, I'm cooked. So I have done a little revention with the whiteboard. I've changed some things up. Instead of doing a pyramid this time, at least for the power system, I did a Venn diagram. I have my 5 basic rules that I do for a lot of stuff. I also got some new colors here, not from this marker, from a different one. They finally came into the mail, so I got some different stuff. And I just want to talk about, at least in my opinion, how to do power systems, because I got some comments talking about it on back then. I said power systems need to be creative, more complex. And looking back, I don't think they need to be more creative than complex, but I do think there needs to be a separation between them. And I do think there's a middle ground that I think creates a perfect power system, in my opinion. And I think Hunter has that. And then here are my 5 basic rules that I'll go over eventually. So, power systems. I love power systems. You probably do as well. I'm going to just go through my 5 basic rules first. I think every power system needs to achieve these before they can even get into the Venn diagram. And then I'm also going to talk about my views on Jujutsu Kaisen's power system because I do not like it. Number 1, similar but complementary world. Basically, what this means is all you need is a world with your power system that works quite well with it. Think of like a Mashal Magic and Muscles where there is magic, but everyone uses that magic. The world complements the power system. Imagine Mashal, but the entire world was just regular everyday shit. Even though everyone had magic, the entire world was regular stuff. The power system would completely lose its value instantly. And this isn't talking about stuff like My Hero Academia. My Hero Academia does a little bit different where it puts superpowers in your everyday world and it asks the question of what would happen if these superpowers were an everyday world, and talks about how superheroes are more celebrities than actual heroes, and it talks about a lot about that, and it talks about how Deku goes from a just a fanboy to someone who actually realistically knows what it's going to take to be a hero and his journey like that. That works with My Hero Academia, but something like a Mashle Magic Muscles that doesn't have that commentary, it would absolutely flop. Number 2, a thought-provoking what if. This basically just means an idea that is just really interesting to think about. Look at like you don't really have to go with any of these, but you can look at like a Chainsaw Man where it's like, imagine thinking that our everyday fears eventually turns into these demons from hell and they could literally kill us. Like, that is such a interesting idea. Or like how Fire Force is, imagine if fires actually turned into demons and could fight back. How would everybody go against that? What are the superpowers that come with it? What is the technology that comes with it? That is all interesting stuff, and it complements the world even more. This one's also related to number 1, but yeah, those are just thought-provoking what-ifs that you can include that I think work well with a power system. Easy to create conflict. This is pretty easy. Just easy, like the reader can understand like what makes, fighting good, bad, whatever, what makes characters fight. Let's say like even like you could take a Pokemon, like Pokemon, most people are fighting in gym battles. So the reader's gonna know we're at a gym, okay, we're doing a gym battle now. Or, oh, we're in a tournament, we're going to battle now. So it's just super easy stuff like that comes with your power system. Something like, excuse me, something like a Full Metal Alchemist does this actually pretty well, because Full Metal Alchemist takes like the alchemy and puts it in the everyday world, but also puts it in the military. So when we're in like the military field and when we're doing military stuff and we're facing military enemies, I know alchemy is going to be used. If you say, I can't even think of a power system that doesn't do that because it's just so easy to understand. But if you don't do that, then like what is even the importance of the power system? You know what I mean? It's not even important anymore. Easy to understand rules. That kind of looks like a B. Whatever. This one's also pretty easy. Just rules that are understandable. The reader immediately gets them. They're simple, basic, and they help with the more complex ideas that you can put in your power system later on. And then number 5, abilities that need to be learned. This just means that everybody that there's growing to be done with all the characters. Like imagine if Luffy ate the Gum Gum fruit and immediately could be Gear 5. Like it would just be incredibly boring. Manga, the only really manga that work like that is like a gag manga, like One Punch Man is the only manga that uh, can like actually do something about that. Okay, wait, give me a second. Okay, sorry, I said to change up my camera. This is basically easy to understand. The 5 rules, at least, I think they're pretty easy to understand. I want to actually get to the diagram now. So we got our 5 rules out of the way. Let's get to the diagram now. Complexity. I do think that as a good power system, you need a bit of a lot. Well, let me just explain what these mean first. So if the 3 C's, in my opinion: complexity, creativity, and charisma. Charisma can also just be supplemented with cool. Complexity, I feel like, is pretty obvious. Just a well-versed, well thought out power system that has a lot of rules, has a lot of interesting ideas in it, and that cause a lot of great battles that constantly have you on your toes. There's great plot twists in there. Like it's awesome. There's a lot of detail underneath the surface. I think it's great. Creativity. This one is just a variety of things can happen without it feeling like bullshit. We'll get to bullshit with Mob Psycho, but a lot of things can just happen interestingly. And then charisma is more just how cool the power system is. Like a manga like a One Piece does not really have like a charismatic power system because it's not that like cool. It's more goofy. Like One Piece is a goofy manga. It's used as goofiness. Or like a manga like Demon Slayer, really Demon Slayer could be put in this charisma category. It's not really complex, nor is it creative at all. It is just really cool to look at, especially the anime. It just looks fucking sick. Bleach is also here, but I put some manga in here that I think go with these categories, but we'll talk about other ones. Let's start with complexity. Right here, a complex manga, and only a complex manga that works with its power system is, in my opinion, Jujutsu Kaisen. Jujutsu Kaisen is one of those manga that, at least its power system, I think, solely bases on the fact that it is hard to understand. And it doesn't, I'm going to talk about it later, but it does not, in my opinion, understand the Venn diagram of creative or charismatic. It is a bit creative. I will give it that. Like, the ideas are creative. But let's say I'm reading and I zone out for a little bit or I turn the next page. I do not need a paragraph about how a guy's powers work. You should be able to create a complex idea for your power system and minor characters. You should be able to just throw out the page and be like, figure it out. I do not need to be told how a power works. Oh, the cursed energy moves through his body, through the object that's amplified. I don't need that. I genuinely do not need that. And that is what comes with only being complex. If you are creative, mind you, we'll go next with Mob Psycho here. And these are bad examples, by the way. JJK, Mob Psycho, and Black Clover. These are bad examples. A Mob Psycho, if you add creativity to that spectrum, where you trust your reader to know it, you can just throw a superpower there and just say, it's with cursed energy. It will make sense as long as it's defined by your easy to understand rules, which JJK does not have, which I'll get to later. Mob Psycho, creative, yes. I do think, while I do think creativity is usually and most of the time a good thing, I do think a manga can take it way too far, like Mob Psycho, where it kind of just feels like random bullshit. Like, I remember reading Mob Psycho, and we got to the part where they, like, go to a research facility where these other people have powers, and nothing's really explained, and it's like, why do these people get these powers? Why is Mob's power stronger than everyone else's? It doesn't make any sense. And I get it, the idea of Mob Psycho is not about the power system, but I have to rate Mob Psycho's power system by itself, and by itself, it is not that good. So, I do not enjoy Mob Psycho's power system at all. Doesn't mean I hate the manga. I love the Mob Psycho manga. Same with JJK. I like JJK. It's just that its power system, I think, is heavily overrated. And then charisma, something that really only goes off of charisma, in my opinion, is Black Clover. Now, I haven't read much of Black Clover, but Black Clover just kind of goes off the idea of magic. So it's not super creative, and there's no complexity at all. Like, the most complexity we get is there's like mana in someone's body, and that mana can be used up and needs to be recharged. But we never see like a physical like retention of that, and we can you honestly as a reader you can just chalk it up to being tired. So yeah, Black Clover just goes based off charisma because the power system looks cool as shit. Like, the art makes it look so fucking cool. All right, in the middle between complex and charismatic or just cool, I have Blue Lock. Blue Lock, I think, is one kind of too complex for its own good, like JJK, where a lot of times it wants its reader to have a PhD in fucking momentum physics. Like, what the hell are we doing here? Like, I can understand it because I watch soccer in real life and I can be like, okay, he's running through the lines or he's going past defenders or he's going through like I've seen these moves in real life. Average reader is not getting that shit. Like, I'm not trying to be an asshole and be like, oh, only I understand because I'm the only one who watches soccer. No, genuinely, like, I don't know how some people would be able to get. I barely get it. So, but I'm not saying it's bad complexity though, because its complexity works in its favor as well by being insanely just artistic, stylistic. That goes with charisma as well. Like, the art really amplifies the power system super, super well, and it's super easy to understand how players will get better, be better, abilities that need to be learned again, and it is super easy to just like just look at that power system and be like, this is a good power system. Here, let's go to charisma and creativity. Right here, I have Soul Leader. Just not much complexity in it. It's definitely very creative. Like, the world is super sick. It's just based off this Halloween world and the idea of a partnership of one person being a weapon and one person being the ownership of that weapon is super sick. And the idea that both of them need to be like in the same right like mindset to work together is super cool as well as the dynamics between, okay, how does an owner react to his master and master react to his owner, and how can those people perceive themselves as equals when one of them fights, using the other one as basically like a hammer or whatever. And that is super interesting and creative. That is fucking sick. And it's also just super cool. Like, the art is sick. It's got such these like dark and like black shaded lines that look so cool. Complexity, though, doesn't really got much. It kind of just rolls with the punches, and the way characters get defeated is kind of just they lose. I mean, there's stuff like, oh, like characters can reach inside of other people's souls and stuff, which is okay, but it doesn't really do a lot with that. And Soul Eater is really just a punch kick manga where the complexity comes from the emotions and the feelings the characters have, not from the power system. And then up here with complex and creative, but no charisma, I have Undead Unluck, but you could also replace this with One Piece. I don't think Undead Unluck has a lot of like just coolness to it. I don't think it's very cool, but I do think this is like one of the best places you can go. I think a One Piece is also here too, because One Piece has the complexity of hockey while also having the creativity of devil fruits. So they both go hand in hand and they work well simultaneously with the world. But I'm here to talk about Undead Unluck. Undead Unluck is more used for, the creative aspect is the idea of just these people, these easy to understand people that undo something. So someone has unluck, someone has life or whatever the person's called is undeath or something. Doesn't really matter. That's the creative aspect, and the complex aspect is the way these characters are defeated, the way the world works around them, the way plans are hatched, the way conflict is created and destroyed. That all comes from the complexity of that. Hopefully I said that right. So yeah, those all connect to each other. Doesn't really connect to charisma. And finally, at the top, and I think probably at least the best power system I've read so far is Hunter x Hunter. I'll give all my reasons. One, I think Hunter x Hunter does. I think it's even more complex than JJK, but it's so creative and it gets to a point where I don't need to think of it as complex. When I'm reading Hunter x Hunter, yes, I can delve into it and I can look at every single detail about Rem and Nen and this or that, or the way characters seep out their aura or whatever. I can learn all that, or I could just look at the panel of the guy having finger guns and go, that guy has finger guns. And I can assume the basic idea of Hunter x Hunter, the creative part, is that every single person in the world has a power that they can create from their aura. Each person is a group of different kind of powers. Like someone can control something, someone can manipulate something, someone can create something. Doesn't matter. Everyone has a somewhat unique power, and the creativity of that is how every single person chooses, at least we see in the manga, chooses to do something different with that power. Yes, there are basic powers like how Killua just does lightning, but there's also stuff where Gon does rock, paper, scissors, and Killua has a fucking contract. And there's so many of these crazy ideas that are super sick and super unique that you never heard about before. And even the side characters have cool fucking abilities that are easy to wrap your head around while also being insanely diverse and insanely just interesting and thoughtful. That's what I think Hunter does well with both of them, and combines them incredibly. And then charisma, oh my goodness. One, the art, and this really only goes for the manga. I don't think the anime does this well at all, but the charisma of the art, or just how cool and sleek and stylistic the art looks, emphasizes the power system way more. It makes energy look so much cooler. It makes it feel rapid and swift and sleek. It literally makes it feel like I'm watching it in real life, in real time, and it just feels so cool to have in person. And Hunter x Hunter achieves all three of these categories, subjects, I think, masterfully. And it, in my opinion, is the best power system in manga, at least of what I've read so far. And I've read a lot. I've read over 200 mangas, so not 200 volumes, 200 series. So yeah, Hunter x Hunter, definitely one of the best. Or if not, yeah, the best. Now, just for a second, I want to talk about JJK. I just have a problem with JJK because the beginning, I think later on the power system gets better, but in the beginning, the power system is kind of just really difficult to understand in general. Like, I can gather around, like, JJK's power system, I wish it just started out off as like you can propel your cursed energy or whatever. You can propel your aura in your body or whatever, kind of like a chakra that Naruto does. I wish it just started off like that, but it starts off at literally the worst part. It has a awful introduction, the power system as a whole, because one, the power system starts off being complex. It doesn't start off at being very simple to understand for the reader, and then later down the road, it gets complex. That's what Hunter x Hunter does. It starts off as it's just a guy showing his energy. It gets to the people who are fucking making their fingers into guns and fucking control other powers and putting stacks in their hearts and that kind of shit. That's what it gets to. Imagine if Hunter x Hunter started at like the York New City arc or something like that, and that's how Nen got introduced. Imagine if Heaven's Arena or whatever it's called did not exist at all. Like, it would be, the power system would be considerably worse because the introduction would be considerably worse. And I think JJK does that awful. Also, my 5 basic rules here that I hope we can agree on, I think doesn't do like most of them. Similar but complementary world. I have a big problem that JJK has the fact that nobody sees what the fuck they're doing. They could be fighting, destroying everything, and everyone's just chilling. Nobody cares. There's no casualties. There's no consequences. Like, I mean, yes, there's consequences of like characters dying and stuff, but the world does not complement the powers. How are there not people conspiracizing about this power? Or how can there not be a government investigation about it? We're living in present day Japan with curses, and everyone's just chilling. The world is not surrounding around this power system. It literally feels like the power system is connected from the world around it. Anytime the characters go out to fucking eat, or the characters aren't doing anything related to the power, it genuinely feels like I'm watching another anime. Or reading another manga. I watch the anime, by the way. Thought-provoking, what if? There is no what if. It's just demons. It's just, there is like depth to go within the power system about like how cursed energy is really like your bad thoughts and like how much you want to use that. But the what ifs are not present there. They're not like a fire force where it's a what if these devils, such ghouls, or like fire was turned into these devils. How would people fight against them? How would society dictate that? What would happen? There is none of that because everything is just kept secret. Easy to create conflict, that's easy. Immediately does that so easily. He literally has a demon inside of him, the main character. Easy to understand rules? No. There's literally no easy to understand rules at all, in my opinion. I don't think it is. And then abilities that need to be learned. This is kind of it, but I do think like it's kind of like there's like domain expansions, and there's like, like Yuji learns how to do it like a Black Flash, and he starts off, not really knowing any cursed energy, and then learns to do like no cursed energy, but it's not very satisfying in my opinion. And the part of JJK that I think is actually good is the way it expresses its themes to its characters. So scenes like the I am you scene or whatever, or scenes where he's fighting Mahito, those don't work because the power system is incredible. Those work because the characters are great. The characters are incredible, and their arcs are unique and satisfying. Or not satisfying, but they invoke emotion out of you. That's why those work. Hunter x Hunter invokes emotion out of you and delivers incredible power system. An incredible power system. And incredible fights. And it makes sense in its world. Yeah. So that is the end of the video. If you liked it, I hope you did like it, because the last one didn't do well at all. If you liked it, like the video. Subscribe, actually. I haven't said that ever. Like, subscribe, please. I'm going to be doing more of these. I think, like, I know a lot of people like watching my YouTube channel as, like, a comedic YouTube channel. I'm happy to do that shit. I love being comedic as possible. But I do want to make my YouTube channel a little bit more on the analytical side, just for my sake, because I like talking about this stuff. And I feel like if I don't have an outlet to talk about this stuff, I'm going to go insane. So, using my YouTube channel, doing this kind of stuff, buying a whiteboard for literally no reason but my YouTube channel is my therapy. So, I'm going to be doing more of these, probably even if they get 0 views, even if I lose all my subscribers. Thank you guys for watching. Emoji. Put a bookshelf. Book emoji. Put a book emoji. There we go. Book emoji. Okay. Bye.